Late last year I bought the KUIU Storm Star. The Storm Star isn't generally a great 4-season tent. However, as it turned out, the Storm Star has a few issues. And one of the biggest frustrations are the 4 big clips that connects the tent to the pole structure. These clips need to be compressed somewhat in order to open the steel gate and compressed again to close the gate. However, this is not an easy task and requires quite some force. Well, I think there's a relatively easy fix to fix the clip issue. Got the tent here, so let's have a look at it and see what we can do. So the tent has 4 of these clips. They're all the same size. They all have a plastic C-shape housing and a steel gate. But the problem is, it requires quite some effort to press the C-clip closer so that the steel gate can go over this opening here. And the same goes if you want to close the gate. Yeah, it requires quite some effort to get that done. Obviously that is not a problem not as much as a problem in good conditions, like I'm sitting here in my garage. But if you have to do this on the trail, in the field, and it's cold, that it's wet, with gloves on, that's not going to be an easy task. So my solution to the problem is to remove this sharp top. And I only would remove it for maybe a mil. 1 millimeter should be sufficient, because I can press the C-clip together with not much of effort, and the gate comes up for maybe in 2 mil here. But it's not enough to get it over this particular edge. So if I remove a little bit of that, it should be able to open and close it with less effort. I'm going to use a very small file for this. And again, I only want to remove that sharp edge for not more than 1 millimeter. So here we go. It's very easy to get the material off, and this is probably sufficient. Do a little bit more. So this should be sufficient. Just remove the sharp edges. This is what it looks like now. We'll do a quick test. It definitely requires less effort to get it over that edge. So I'll leave it like this. That looks good. And this very tiny adjustment has not compromised the integrity of this clip whatsoever. And obviously I need to do that for all 4 clips. So those files, they have one smooth side, and I make sure the smooth side is resting against the C-clip, so I don't cut into the side wall here. I don't want that, obviously. Yeah, that goes well. Removing the sharp edges. Let's have a look. So this is the end result. Again, it's just a fraction that I removed. It's not more than 1 millimeter, and again, it does not compromise the integrity of the C-clip whatsoever. It definitely makes a difference. But there you go, adjusting the C-clips. That should address this issue. I'm going to pitch a tent so I can check how much easier it is to get the clips on and off the pole structure. Alright, so I inserted the poles in the corresponding pockets. Now bring the poles up and clip it in. I'm going to start with these top ones first. Let's see. Yeah, easy. Yeah, that was very easy. And there's one more. Perfect. And then undo it again. Nice. Yeah, really good. I'm happy with that. So now that we addressed the first issue, the issue with the clips, I want to highlight another issue, and that are the poles. The poles, in my opinion, are inadequate for this particular tent. At least one of the poles has bent. And actually, the pole in the middle has a slight bend as well, but not as significant. So I put some tape on the poles to keep them together, so you can clearly see the bend in one of the poles. A little bit of context if it comes to the poles. Now, first of all, I only pitched the tent twice after I bought the tent. So I have not really used the tent in the field. I just pitched it basically in the backyard, get myself familiarized with the process, and obviously to check out the tent. And don't get me wrong, I love the tent, but there are a few things that KUIU could do a little better. The pole that is bent is the shorter pole of the three. So two poles have the same length, and one is shorter, which basically forms the vestibule. When you pitch the tent, there's a lot of tension on the fabric and on the pole structure. And I believe that these poles are too light, not strong enough for this design. I don't think there's anything wrong with the design of the tent, I love that, but they should use heavier tent poles. So the poles that come with the tent are the DAC Featherlight NFL green. So I put a warranty claim in with KUIU, highlighting the issue and obviously expressing my disappointment with the poles. It definitely lowers my confidence that these poles will hold up in strong wind. So if they're already bending under the load of the structure and the design of the tent and the fabric pulling on it, and put a wind force on top of that, it's not going to hold. Now obviously I have not used it yet on the trails, so my experience is just from pitching it a couple of times. KUIU came back to my warranty request and they recommended the hand bend back the pole. And I'm not really happy with that explanation or that response, because metal, once it starts bending and you start bending it back, the outside of the materials, there are stress fractures. Now obviously the bend is not a sharp bend, I'm aware of that. It is a soft bend, but still, bending it back is not something I prefer doing. So it leaves me only with a few options obviously. Keep on using the pole until it really buckles, or replacing it. Now, for now I will keep on using it, but I probably will prepare a pole that can replace this one. But I feel that this pole will not be the only one that's going to bend. I suspect the other two poles will bend over time as well, specifically when I start using it a bit more earnest. But yeah, that's it, guys. So two big issues, fairly big issues with the tent, but one very easy to address, and the pole issue, I'm not so sure yet what I'm going to do. Well, there you have it, guys. Hope it was informative. If you own the KUIU Storm Star or you contemplating purchasing one, be aware of these issues. There is another issue with the doors, but I am not really fussed about that. That's easy to adjust with a washing clip. But these are the issues that we discussed and addressed in this video are a bit more significant. Specifically the pole issue, because that one is not easy to adjust. That requires either a new set of poles, which costs money. Another thing is, be mindful that KUIU does not sell replacement poles. I actually contacted them about that because I initially thought I lost one of the poles. So I asked them, hey, can I purchase a new set? They say we don't, and they referred me to a third party. There's a bit of a shortcoming as well. I think that KUIU should sell replacement poles, specifically considering the price point and the retail price of this tent, around the 1,000 Australian dollars, and being a 4-season tent, it all adds to the longevity of the tent. If you can purchase replacement parts, you can keep the tent for longer and enjoy it for more years. Well, guys, that's all I had to share with you today. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions or maybe hits, tips, recommendations, please put them in the comment section. Thanks for watching and see you next time.